Well, here we are in the Archaeological Centre, and there's no better place to start the archaeological trail in the County Tyrone. And I'd like to ask John Donaghy, manager of the centre here, could you tell me a wee bit about Archaeological?
Archaeological Centre here opened in 1994. At the centre here we have a licensed restaurant and conference facilities. We have 8 self-catering cottages, and we have an interpretive exhibition about the archaeology in the boglands, and we have a craft shop with lots of local crafts. It's a good starting point, I think, for anyone who wants to have an introduction to archaeology of the Sperrins.
Absolutely, there's no better way to begin an archaeological tour of the area. Well, here we are at the first of our fine archaeological remains. And Brendan Gormley, could you tell me a wee bit about these stones in which we stand?
Nice to meet you, Declan. You're here today at a court tomb called Cregan Davesky, and this is a monument from the Neolithic or Stone Age. This is known as a chambered grave or a chambered tomb. You have semicircular court at the front in which ritual of some sort took place before the remains were physically taken and placed within the chambers of the tomb. You have the beginnings of enclosed areas for ritual purposes, and that takes us on to the next site we're going to visit.
Well, Brendan, here we are in our second site, the Baymore Stone Circles. Now, could you tell me a wee bit about these particular stone circles?
Sperrins stone circles are unique to the region, and these circles, like a lot of the other circles within the region, were dug out of the bog in the 1930s. They are Bronze Age in date, which would put them about 1800 BC to 1100 BC. 7 stone circles, and with the exception of the dragon's teeth, the circles are all in pairs, and the alignments between circles 1 and 2 line up with the summer solstice sunrise. It must have been for generations a site of huge significance, built over many generations. You could imagine one stone circle built by one generation, the next generation comes along, adds an alignment, somebody else gets buried in the corner, his generation adds a circle to that.
It's an evolution.
The grandchildren add an alignment, the great-grandchildren make another circle, and you have a site that has evolved over many generations to serve the ritual needs of the society that lived here. And the next site we'll go to is a site of ritual that will be a lot more familiar to the modern traveller.
Well, here we are in Banagher Old Church, and Brendan, could you tell me a wee bit about this absolutely wonderful stone building?
Well, Banagher Old Church looks like very plain walls today to us, but in the day it was built, it was brand spanking new technology to the people that lived in this area. The chances of any of them ever having seen a building in stone before is highly unlikely. So this was monumentally wow. You have what they call pre-Romanesque.
Right.
You have this lovely trapezoidal doorway here. If we move into the chancel, which is this extension they built on at the end of the church, you'll see a very, very definite development from the pre-Romanesque to the Romanesque. The standard of the masonry is huge.
Well, Brendan, thanks a million for telling me the stories of Banagher Old Church.
You're very welcome, Declan. We've travelled through the Sperrins for about 5,000 years in the 3 monuments we've visited.
And there's still more stories to tell.